Recipes can excite. Recipes can open your eyes. Today in my kitchen, that is exactly what I am doing. So stay tuned and see what I am cooking. A banana. Hey guys, today in my kitchen we are doing a Cheats make-ahead chicken gravy. If you don't have the drippings from the chicken, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to get some so you can make this recipe. So stay tuned and welcome to my kitchen. We'll need some chicken breast, chicken broth, everything's better with butter, and some salt and pepper. So let's get started. Start by preheating your pan with some oil until the oil gets nice and warm. And then I'll show you what to do next to cook our chicken. Since I am going to be using this chicken for another recipe, I do want to season it. So what I like to do is heavily season one side with salt and pepper. And then all I am going to do is I am going to pat the bottom of the chicken on the top. Don't worry, I'll wash my hands after, I promise. And just do that until it is evenly seasoned. Now I'm just going to wait for my pan to heat up. I'm going to show you a quick hack for making the chicken cook faster, if that makes sense. I have a pestle here, but you can use a rolling pin or whatever. Put it on a flat surface and just pound it out until it is nice and thin. And that way it'll cook in no time. Now that my pan is nice and hot, I'm simply just going to take my chicken, nice sizzle, and place it in the pan. And I am going to add all the juice too, because that'll help it have some flavor. Switch out your plate so you don't cross-contaminate. And just cook these until they're done. Bounce, 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 bounce. Once the first half is done cooking halfway through, we're going to flip it and cook the other side. Wow, that sizzle. Woo! It's more golden in person, but this looks nice. I love it. While we are waiting for our chicken to cook, why don't you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It really helps out, and I really appreciate those that do that. A banana. For our chicken breasts, you do not want to take them too long because they will dry out. But once they get nice and golden and you kind of can feel that they're firm, but not too firm, that's when you want to take them out. A good rule of thumb is if you put your pinky and your thumb tips together and hit right here, just by pinching, that'll tell you it's done. So mine is good, so I'm going to take it off now. And now we can start making our gravy. So what I'm going to start off with is a little bit of butter. I added about a 1/4 cup. So once the butter melts, you're going to add a 1/4 cup of flour, or until it looks like wet thin. And all the flavors from the chicken will in fact get into this. So it'll taste extra nice. And now that our butter is melted, we can add our flour. And we're gonna switch to a whisk at this point. So I'm gonna do about 3 spoonfuls of flour. And I am gonna whisk this in until it becomes that wet sand consistency. If you add a bit too much flour, you can always add more butter. If you add a bit too much butter, you can always add more flour. And you're just gonna cook this out for about a minute. Let me show you what the flour looks like. So this is what we want it to look like. Nice and bubbly and cooking out and like wet sand, if that makes sense. You just need to cook it out for a minute. It'll get the raw flour taste out then. And I think I am about there. So while whisking, I am gonna add my broth very slowly. Until you get the consistency you want. And this will help to ensure it doesn't get clumpy too. You don't want clumps in the gravy. That's why you use a whisk and slowly add your broth. So I like in between a thick and a thin gravy, but you can always take it thinner if you feel like that's what a gravy is, and you can take it thicker if you feel like that's more of a gravy. I'll show you what this looks like when I come back. Just before you take it off the heat, just add in a little bit of salt, not too much, because you can always put more in later, but you can't take it out. I'm gonna make this a bit more peppery, so I'm gonna add a bit more pepper to mine. And this is the consistency I want, so I am gonna remove it from the heat now. Yeah, that looks nice. For the chicken I made earlier, I'm gonna have a recipe out later this month. It's a kale pasta Caesar salad. And I'm gonna use my chicken in that, so stay tuned for that video. I haven't made it as of yet, but it'll be coming out by the end of the year or maybe into next. I cooked it perfectly, by the way. I love this. And for the juices on the plate, pour that into your gravy. It'll be really nice in that, and stir it in. And this is what our gravy looks like when it is finished. If you want to gloss it up a bit, you can add a bit more butter in. I'm not concerned about that, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But I will, however, even though I don't have a spoon available. Oh, yeah, never mind, I do. I'm going to have a quick taste and see that I season this properly. Needs a bit more salt and pepper. I seasoned it with a bit more salt and pepper. I'm just gonna have another taste with a clean spoon. That's the stuff, yeah. It is nice and peppery. You get that hit of salt without it being overpowering. If you ever do too much salt, I forget. I'll have to ask the internet, obviously, how you would reduce the salt levels. Let me check. So I looked it up and it said if your gravy is too salty, all you need is to add a bit of water. But if you think that that won't do the trick, then add something like lemon or white vinegar or something like that, like something acidic, to kind of bring down the salt levels. Just so you know. And you'll see this chicken back when I do my kale Caesar pasta salad. The chicken is also perfectly seasoned, so that's good. From here, if you want to freeze it ahead, you can totally do that. It reheats nicely and very easily. You just need to warm it up in the microwave or over the stovetop. Just have a little bit more chicken broth if you can, just in case it gets too thick when you go to reheat it. And you're good as golden, I guess. And thank you for watching this episode. The recipe is really easy. I hope you try it out. And until next time, a banana. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. A banana.